Charles Ajiboye, he's a lawyer. He joins us now. He's also an expert in youth life and, well, he's a youth life and startup coach. Well, quite a mouthful there for me. Good morning and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Being a lawyer, as a lawyer, I'd like to start off from the legal perspective. If we're trying to draw an agenda for this incoming administration, what would that be for you as a lawyer?
Okay, you've narrowed it down.
Yeah, I have to narrow it down.
To being a lawyer.
Then we'll come back to look at the youth issue.
No problem. I will start with an experience last week. I was at the Ikoyi prisons with the Nigerian Bar Association. And one thing was very amazing there. It's public knowledge. So many people in the prisons are waiting trial. Now at Ikoyi prisons, you have about 1,749 inmates as of today. Maybe
Just
increased.
Ikoyi prisons
Yes,
alone,
prison, yes.
at the time you went there?
Male prison. Ikoyi prison male last week. Out of that 1749 or 149, 1,500 plus are waiting trial. And they have been there for different number of days and months. A large chunk of those people, the 1,500 people, don't even have quality representation. It was so sad. Now, even the ones that have representation, I mean legal representation in court, have their files been very shady. Some files are missing, some complainants have stopped coming to court, and yet these guys are still left in the prison, and they still come to court and go back. Now, if any government will make any meaningful change in this country, it will improve very seriously on its criminal justice system. It will focus on who suffers, why, and for what. A situation where we say we are running a democratic system of government, and it is still a system of might. So who runs to the police force first to make a complaint gets a good positioning. And then the police comes and arrests a person. And they arrest you because you may not be able to pay some bribes, because you are not able to bring up somebody who will speak for you. They charge you to court. Now you get before the magistrate or the judge, as the case may be. And rather than the magistrate taking a look at even what brought you there, the first thing you are supposed to do, which is the genesis of the charge and bail lawyers, is they read your charge to you, and you are supposed to apply for bail for trial to begin maybe a couple of months after. Now, you apply for bail, and the magistrate or the judge looks up and says, okay, go bring a letter from the tax office saying you've been paying tax for 3 years, or get 2 people that can do that. Go bring some house documents, go bring a level 14 officer, and you're probably talking to someone who's a driver. If he knew all these people, are you sure he'll be doing the kind of job he was doing when he was arrested or for what he was arrested for? Now, he goes to jail and he's not able to perfect his bail, and is in prison for 2 months,
so
for 3 months.
when you're talking legal reforms or judicial reforms, you're also tying in some like police reforms as well.
Police reform is major in the review of the criminal justice system. Is major. The police force, well, a lot of things are going on air and around as regards what the police force has been doing. Whether they are true or false is not what I want to debate now. But the truth is that there's still a lot of wrath. I was still with the state anti-robbery squad yesterday, settling a matter that is pure family. A family dispute, a wife beat his wife so much that she ran away with the daughter. And the man ran to the SARS, State Anti-Robbery Squad, and reported kidnap and theft. That the woman stole the belongings of her husband and kidnapped her daughter. And they went ahead to arrest the sister of the woman for connivance, so they called it. Now, the police have different words that they use to manipulate things to circumvent the laws that already restrict them. So when they are looking for Maokwe, and they can't get Maokwe, then they go get the sister and they say connivance. So they hold the sister for conniving with Maokwe to do something that she knows nothing about, just possibly to force her to appear. Sometimes the person doesn't even know nothing. He suffers detention, he suffers humiliation, he suffers embarrassment, and nothing happens after that.
So what can be done in such cases?
Now, it is important that there's a lot of checks on the police. It's nearly impossible for you to get any bail. Bail is free. But it's nearly impossible, except you have spent so much time there that they are so sure that you cannot produce anything. without having to do some things, even though they make you sign and all of these things. Now, it's important that the government puts a lot of checks and balances in place, especially the Nigerian police force. Who is arrested? Why is he arrested? Must he even be charged? Not all matters should be charged to court. A lot of these matters can be resolved in the police station because even the report in the first place was not supposed to have been made. Now, the checks must be there. There should be auditors within the police system who are not even auditing finance, but auditing their actions, auditing the cases they have taken to court, auditing the charges that they have made against those persons that are before the court. There should be some people that will look at what these magistrates are giving as bail terms and looking at the feasibility of the defendants or the accused, even meeting those bail terms. Because if you give me a bail condition and I cannot meet it, is as good as you have not granted me bail.
I'm just listening to you, and I'm thinking to myself that it would seem that we've been down this road before. Every time we've discussed judicial reforms, it would seem. So essentially, it would seem that you're asking that judicial reforms be revived or revisited. But how high up would you say that priority is or should be for this for the incoming administration?
Very high. You know, when you say what should the judiciary, the government do first, what should they do second? What I say is, why should you be asking a 55-year-old man what they should do first? That's Nigeria. Nigeria is 55, thereabout. We should be able to multitask. We have a Federal Executive Council, you have so many people in government, you have the houses, and a lot of things should be done immediately. And that is not to say the impossible. When the government gets to power on May 29, everything should hit the ground running.
Everything?
Everything. When I say everything, I mean major things. Now, the government has tried to streamline the things it will do. It says I will focus on unemployment, I will focus on security, and I will focus on the economy, basically, then power thereafter. Now, if you look at the way these things are networked, you will realize that there's really nothing like unemployment. Unemployment is like headache for someone that has malaria. Now, what we have seen governments do, state governments and some federal government, is in the bid to provide employment, you find out the setup of honeycomb of commissions. Maybe you say something, kick against something, a last mile something, and you just mop up 1,500 people, 2,000 people. Those are not sustainable employment. Or you do Shopee, what do they call this, tax force people, you just bring people in and because you want to do massive employment. No. Unemployment can only be resolved when you build enough corporations, enough institutions, you encourage enough companies that will mop up the unemployed populace. So you will find out that for you to focus on unemployment, if you really are serious with it, what you should be looking at is how exactly can we encourage institutions. So if you bring a business proposal and your business is going to hire 200 people, we make it work. Knowing fully well that in 2015 your business will take 200 people, in 2016 it will rise up to 300, and it's scalable. And that's how you solve unemployment issues. And so you find out that unemployment, we'll talk about funding, we'll talk about encouragement of talents before you can actually resolve unemployment. And if you ask me what is central to all of these things, both unemployment, security, I would say we need a very, 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 very good data system. If we say we are 170 million plus in Nigeria, the question is, do we know the names of all those people, where they stay? Do we have their biometrics? Now, because that is going to affect, or that is one of the major things that is affecting the banks granting loans. They say they run away. As a lawyer, I've done a lot of recovery cases, and I've worked with some of these credit houses, credit bureaus. Now, you find out that they are afraid to give loans to the ordinary person. I deal with a lot of youth starting up businesses. They can't access loan. I was on phone with one of them on my way here. They can't access credit facilities, and it's understandable with the banks. They don't want to throw away customers' money. But if we are sure that you are a kid that has a handle, we can find you. You can't run away. And if you take from bank A, you will never get from bank B or C again. Then we can easily grant loans. So if you ask me what is central to all of them, straight there I would say data. Let's know who we are, where we are. Let's know that if you mess up with bank A, you can't even get out of this country because already it will flag up at the exit points. And then all that.